Hi there, MusicFeeds TV viewers. I'm here with Alistair and Tech from Sydney-based band Sooners. How are you guys today?
Pretty good, man.
What have you been up to today?
I've been writing an essay about Jim O'Rourke and Nigel Godrich, the two producers that I really like.
Oh, what are you studying at uni then?
Audio engineering.
Ah, right, cool. What about you? What have you been doing today so far?
I did a bit of washing at home.
It's really nice though, because you smell so good now. So, how did you guys meet and get together?
We all hung out in high school, and like I'd never played in a band until I finished and we were at uni, but the other three guys were all in like punk bands back in the day.
High school bands.
Yeah, got all the girls. I'm the only one who mentions it. Those guys are all embarrassed, but I think it's cool.
Are you quite a fan of punk then?
I like Iggy and Studios. I went to the Big Day Out the other day, and he just put everybody else to shame. Like 60-year-old with that amount of energy.
What about you? You into punk as well, or not so much?
Not so much, to be honest. Like? Recently listening to a little bit of electronica beats, just like finding out all these possibilities of fitting all these tiny beats at different places, and just fascinated, like Flying Lotus and stuff like that.
Punky electronica, great, nice combination. Self-record, am I right?
Yeah, well, I study audio engineering. We kind of had this rehearsal space called the Mattress Factory. Okay. And you can just play and record whenever you want. A producer from the US called Kramer got in contact with us through the power of MySpace. And wow. Yeah, we collaborated with him.
And he's worked with some quite big names, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm proud to be one of the bands he's done.
I mean, we all have really different influences, but bands like Low and Galaxy 500 kind of transcend everything for us, and just being involved with someone who was major part of their careers was really inspiring.
So I've also heard that you guys take a lot from your live performance into your recordings. How exactly do you do that? A
lot of people start their recordings just with click tracks, and I think that can make things really rigid. So we still use clicks just so to keep things consistent, but we kind of mold it around the performance, so we figure out when we want things to slow down and speed up. And then we always try and record as much as possible live as a basis. And then it's pretty easy to go overdub crazy, and that's probably why we spent a year recording 2 songs. But yeah. And
you mentioned the click track. Does it give you more freedom now than if you're not working to a click as a drummer? I
think so. I'm trying not to be so conscious about being exactly in time, and I always want like a guitar track with the click track, so I could get the feel more than the timing right. So, but sometimes I could go out of time. Yeah. Jim White is amazing.
Some pretty unusual keyboards going on.
Thanks, I think that's a compliment, right?
Where'd you find them?
I got my keyboard from my next door neighbor years ago, and then it sounds like shit, but I started experimenting with tape recorders and tape saturation and kind of manipulating it with guitar effects, and I don't know, it's a pretty unique tone, I think, but for better or worse, that's kind of the way it sounds.
So you think it adds to the sound? I
think the big thing with this band is the limitations that we have. We don't like to use any pre-recorded loops. I think if you kind of confine yourself to a box, you can almost be more creative. So if I was to hand you a really modern Korg, would it stress you out? It would probably stress me out, just because I know so many people use micro Korgs and they're pre-recorded sounds. Maybe it's just the context that you put it in would make it interesting. Something else to play with though. Yeah, no, I like my little toys. I got lots of toy organs. I'm obsessed with eBay, but yeah. How many toy organs have you got? It's kind of embarrassing. I've probably got like 12. 12's okay. I thought you were going to say like 300 or something. No, well, it's like, you know when you have like pictures of your family on the walls and stuff? I've just got like crap everywhere in my flat. And cassette recorders. I'm obsessed with cassettes.
what do you think of the Sydney music scene? Explain it to an English person.
Because a lot of venues closed down with the big rise in pokies and gambling, a big DIY aesthetic has kind of arisen, and I think there's a big electronica thing happening in Sydney at the moment. It's kind of moulding those influences into new forms. Sydney's played catch up to Melbourne a little bit in that way, and yeah, I think it's definitely just like house parties and things like that, where small bands can self-record and release their music very easily, and there's an audience for that. People are after new material, you know, and they don't have to go through labels to get to it. I think it's exciting.
You've got this great new 7-inch out.
Yeah, it's coming out in March.
So you've got Once in a While. It's a very atmospheric track. Sounds like it could be on a soundtrack for a movie, yeah? What type of movie would you like to soundtrack?
Maybe it's a Vincent Gallo film, because they're so slow and our music's kind of slow.
I was thinking Buffalo 66.
How about a film about a snail slowly making his way across the road, perhaps? Horses Run Out is a bit ironic because it's about horses running, but they're kind of galloping in slow-mo, perhaps, yeah?
Yeah, maybe they're just relaxing in a big meadow. I don't know.
They're chilled out horses running then.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks, guys. It's been Alistair and Tech from Sooners, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of Sooners soon.